listen to the Royal Harmonious with that melodious song, ushering us into day 5 of the health seminar organized by the Meridian Ghana Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in collaboration with the Adventist Ministry and the Health Department, dubbed Keeping the Killer Away by Dr. Paul Yeboah, on the topic, the immune system. Viewers, you are most welcome. You can please join us on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, and Valley View Radio 97.7. We are this juncture called Elder Granting of the Seaview SDA Church of the Tema West District to give us a word of prayer.
Shall we pray? Divine Father, we are grateful of you this night. It is by your grace and mercy that we have come thus far. Today too, we have come under your feet to study, so that we can get more help to do your work. We have committed this program unto your care, more especially the facilitator. Use him as a tool, a channel, so that we shall know what is right and do what is right and live by the right thing. As we are begin your name, and take us through, and when all is over, praises and honor will be given unto you. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
We invite our brother Isaac Riafi from the Klagon Seventh-day Adventist Church of the Tema West District to sing, and the voice we're going to hear after he sings will be that of Dr. Paul Yeboah. Thank you.
for the Bemonia, the Decan, the Asadabama, of Yeboah. So every American was without me, you can do nothing. And why to Cassie and know what I have was more than harm, he said. And I mean, Bibiana, Monko to then not change the form of your prayers and mingle your praises with your prayers. Instead, said, I can't give me this, give me this, give me. Was it why not change the form of your prayers? Mix praises with it. So one can't want. And can announce your toy and can Yana, yeah, that's what he has. One can one came be and hope it may travel about so damn hanging rate. I too forbidden one dance here. It be a weather intro until back and forth, sir, ya brands and ne, yeah, but a vampire. Many I mean sustain throughout this program. Mama Esther and Ra, Mamina of Free England, Babuay, Nanky a percent ne, or buffer the whole evening, Nanka, or church and Nwaka Krabat. And in Secretary Bimu, and then to want to member. But I was some country so Beji rain check. Said Dakro conference in Babuabua, a man 1 or by a warning so be take a whole Sunday. Na waboa how to prepare a wholesome meal. He said, income share Yang has a for mama and fire manco kitchen at once. Or you choose our wedding at once. Ne yanchre warnum how to prepare a wholesome meal. Ni pepi be pese warnum be change warnum diet say. And so on me health and temperance asudie. See about church members now how to prepare wholesome breakfast, wholesome lunch and dinner. And Mama Esther Train in 10 minutes know what you prepare milk about 1 week. I far better. See a such healthy milk. Can say before cow's milk a diamond quara. Ama one mania autism. So will be an a barrier autism. I won't be a we are say, yes, sir. Onyame amo abo biara anase nipa biara se oba akokora na abrewa anase wunyina ukonom milk bio ayem kwara biane enzyme se boy ma yetimi digest milk no udi 3 years ko 4 years pe na enzyme no afri ho obenom milk bucket makora o body doesn't know how to handle it. Ejina system musa kopum se bedi wo and rama me chire kwana e befa so aye wholesome milk 10 minutes no wawie ama won kwara anya milk papanum chen carnations ne cow's milk ya ye de ma ye manom no and rama niece bi ba program no so ye wie ya no from was uncle ada na hunu atamafo say ma se me be hunu mo na me ka kire ne se wo gina ka kwanchen na trotro ka ba be pim obi a nya sabre na okogina nanim abunkotodwe ne no negotiate se wo be consider se wo be hura gina nchen ha kakra na ka no amabo rather no be sum no Africa akwam through danger yenim se asafo mai bebre ena yare cancer one may nya bie nam kwanso benya bi. But most importantly, nyame de third angel's message ima SDF force yemfama ye neighborhood ni nipa atwa ye ho hia bonsam ade won mo eko efundakram mirikaso yi aye yasodie se yani ankasa betimi practice sa health messaging they are prepare nipa adwene mama sa me behunu obi a but a critical message at a critical time. And me hunahuna topic a yɛakyusu on sɛ nnura cancer ahodoɔ a yɛka ho asɛm no nyinaa there is hope. Cancer ɛwɔ aduro. Saa aduro no ɛni toɔm na wakɔ akɔtɔ. Ɛni doctor biara office. Na mmom ɛwɔ ade a yɛfrɛ no immune system mu. Nti nnɛ yɛbɛyɛ yɛ immune system na yɛahwɛ adekode a ɔyɛ. Mebɔ mmɔden sɛ measure screen sɛnea computer yi de ayɛ yɛ nnɛ menim how is it that is going to be. IT foɔ monyɛ alert. Ɔma me kwan ma menhwɛ screen no koraa. Nyamere. Computer yɛ aha yɛn paa. Bonsam abɔ mmɔden biara sɛ ɛnɛ program wama ne mma so. Nyamere. Anwummere yi nyinaa aha yɛn saa Nyame adaroma na yɛtumi aba soɔ. IT it's not allowing me to share the screen. Period. IT for mo te menka. Kojo IT for ho.
Patrol, yeah, your co-host Tinty. I think it's we coming from your end.
The problem
At this
is
point,
very likely.
I don't know. Maybe you restart here. Ebe boa there.
No. IT for mo te menka.
Patrol, you too, okay.
The problem must be from this end. I simply cannot share the screen. I've turned everything off. Open into share screen into my customer microphone.
Doc, please, will you consider restarting the computer too?
I've turned the whole computer off.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't work. So just leave it as is. Now that I can hear you, I was thinking of going ahead to make the presentation, but the PowerPoint is all there on the.
Okay, Doc Pacho, we will send you an email through the chat. If you could maybe email the presentation to that email address, we will try and share it from here.
Okay, I can see the presentation, so I will go ahead and make the presentation without the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Can the audience hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
And we could see your picture too, but I think you've turned your video off.
Yes, I did. I just couldn't open the camera, period.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and do the presentation orally without the camera. And then you know, decided said, said there is a cure for cancer. That cure no, is not in any medication. Your immune system. You can say immune system not anything. Nyame de asogyafoɔ bi agu yɛ system mu yɛ body mu hɔ a wɔnom na ɛbɔ yɛn ho ban. Yɛhwɛ kwan a yɛbɛfa so aboa wɔnom ama wɔnom atumi abɔ yɛn ho ban completely. Na wohwɛ the immune system a yɛ highly complex. Ɛno nti na yɛn Nana David Psalm 139:14 was I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Saa sogyafoɔ yi a yɛfrɛ wɔn immune cells yi, adeɛ baako na wɔnom yɛ. Nyame de wɔnom agu yɛn mogya mu sɛ wɔnom study us, na wɔnom hunu what makes up Kwesi Yeboah. For example, wokɔ Burma camp a, wɔnom wɔ baabi a yɛtrain sogyafoɔ a wɔnom bɔ Ghana ho ban. Ɛko ba na hwɛ wɔnom yɛ ready ne yɛafa truck akɔko akono akɔko a, wɔnom ho pere wɔnom, knowing perfectly well sɛ wɔnom kɔ ɛnyɛ wɔn nyinaa na ɛbɛba. So wɔnom de mmirika kɔ. Saa na sogyafoɔ yi a Nyame de wɔnom agu yɛn mu yi, wɔnom so yɛ. They give their lives to protect us. For example, if you have pneumonia and you cough and spit out the sputum is made up of all the neutrophils, the soldiers who gave their lives to protect you. That is what makes up the neutrophils or the sputum that you spit out. Previously, medical science used to think that the thymus gland was useless. It had no special function in the body, but now we know that is the headquarters for all the immune soldiers. The Burma camp, the Gasti or Kofi Annan Center, where the top army officers go to train and protect us. There are two main cells. We have the T lymphocytes, which are divided into several groups. And then the B cells. The T lymphocytes are the top echelon, the army generals. They tell the B cells what to do and when to do it. But let us all make an analogy, as these immune systems are the border patrol. On the borders of Ghana and Ivory Coast, there is a border patrols, specially trained officers who make sure that no Sierra Leone or a Nigerian or Ivory Coaster or somebody else can get into Ghana without the proper documents. The T lymphocytes do that, as well as the B lymphocytes. It is the duty of the B lymphocytes to patrol all the borders against cancer, against viruses, bacteria, yeast, fungus, preventing them from entering the body to kill us. In case one of them gets through into the body like the COVID virus, it is the B lymphocytes that arrest them and take them through a special channel called the lymph channels. We have the circulatory system where the blood flows. God has designed a special backdoor channel, diplomatic channel, that these soldiers, when they arrested alien, an illegal alien or someone from Nigeria who is not supposed to be in Ghana, when he gets into the Ghana borders, they will arrest that person and take them through the special channel to the thymus gland. That is where the army officers are kept. And the B lymphocytes will show this illegal alien, this virus, these germs, that we caught this one. We don't see him as part of Paul Yeboah. Is he an illegal alien? Is he harmful to us? Should we destroy him? They show it to the T lymphocytes. These T lymphocytes have trained, highly trained, they make the decision. Yes, after examining this illegal alien, they allow him to be destroyed by different type of B cells who have specialized destroying these foreign invasions. Just as the army has different branches, you have the Air Force, the Navy, the foot soldiers, the infantry. The immune system has different branches, and they all do different duties. All of them have to report to the T cells. The reason why this COVID and the HIV virus are so dangerous is that when they enter the body, they have the means of tricking the T4 cells, the master cells, and let them think that they are not harmful. They will take them into their confidence, and they have a means of entering the T4 cell himself, the master general who is supposed to protect the whole body. And then they will convince the T4 cells, instead of protecting Yeboah, they will produce more baby COVIDs, more baby HIVs, more viruses. There is another group of soldiers called the NK cells, natural killer cells. These don't take their orders from the T4 cells because they are specially trained. They have X-ray vision. When they see the virus that has entered into a cell, they have a means of detecting it from a distance. And they will order the T4 cell, the B cells, to destroy that long before it is able to cause diseases. The NK cells, the natural killer cells, can be weakened by three main things. Alcohol. Once you drink alcohol and get blown out and lose your thinking, the NK cells are also affected by the alcohol. Once you eat sugar, they are also affected by excess sugar. In fact, most of the immune system are affected by excess sugar. Ellen G. White, under inspiration, said, sugar, when largely eaten, is worse than eating meat. Most vegetarians would take pride that they don't eat meat or don't drink milk, but they can eat excess sugar. They're damaging the body as much as they had if they had gone ahead to eat the meat. Because excess sugar does two things. It hardens the cell membrane. Some of these soldiers, the immune soldiers, when they catch a virus, all they do is to inject them with some hypodermic needles. They are carrying a syringe with a needle with medicine in it. It's really interesting to watch them on the microscope. As soon as they see a foreign or illegal alien, they will surround him and inject him with a needle so that the inside of the virus will drain out. But if the person had eaten sugar, the membrane of the cell gets so hard that as soon as they stack him with a needle, the needle breaks out. And that's why Ellen G. White, under inspiration, warned us that sugar, when largely eaten, will weaken the immune system far worse than if you had eaten meat. Sugar will do one thing. Also, the red blood cells are all negatively charged. Sugar will change the ionic membranes. And Ellen G. White on the inspiration says, sugar clogs the system. When the red blood cells are traveling through the blood vessels, carrying oxygen and nutrients to all parts of the body, sometimes after a sugary meal, the membranes get so hard that the diameter of the red blood cells is 8 microns wide. Diameter of the capillaries is only 4 microns wide. How can you take 8 microns diameter to pass through a small capillary? Generally, the red blood cells will fold over, double themselves over. If one had eaten sugar and the membrane is stiffened, there is no way you can bend it. And it goes to clog the circulatory system. That's why Ellen G. White on the inspiration says sugar clogs the system. Several people have come to the hospital with heart attack and died, not because there was anything wrong with the heart, but because they had eaten sugar and stiffened the membranes of their red blood cells, and it had clogged the system. Another thing that weakens the NK cells, apart from sugar and alcohol, is lack of sleep. This picture is very interesting, but we are not lucky today. Instead of getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, if you get only 6 hours that night, the body's ability to protect itself, or the NK cell's ability to protect body, is reduced more than 50%, even though you got 6 hours sleep that night. Dr. Cosette from University of Chicago did a study, allowed students to sleep for 6 hours. And then he took some rats, injected both rats with cancer cells. And one group of rats, he allowed them to have a good night's sleep, didn't disturb them. Another group of rats, he made sure they slept, but not enough, disrupted their sleep. After 30 days, the rats were killed, and the size of the tumor was measured. Those who lost sleep, their cancer had grown about 200% more than those who had sleep. NK cell is highly sensitive to loss of sleep, and it cannot function very well when you lose sleep. Another group of the soldiers are the monocytes, macrophages, and dendrites. These are different branches of the army who protect us. When they are in our blood, they are called monocytes. When they are in the tissue, they are called macrophages. When they are sitting on the boundaries, the borders, waiting for illegal aliens to enter, their name is called dendrites. All that they are waiting for is to wait for an illegal alien who doesn't belong in my body, like virus, fungus, bacteria, all kinds of disease-causing properties. When they catch them, they take them through the diplomatic channel, the lymph system, to the thymus, the headquarters, and show it to the T4 cells or the army generals. It's very, very interesting to watch them under microscope, showing their trash to the army generals. The army general scratching the head and turning the head and examining that victim and then make a decision. It's a very well coordinated army. They are so efficient that if you confuse the immune system and they turn their guns on you yourself, and it's happened before, it's called autoimmune system. Diseases like lupus, meaning that the soldiers do not think Kwesi Yeboah is Kwesi Yeboah anymore because I've eaten some food and gotten them confused. They can kill me within an hour. These are very efficient soldiers. In the same way, when they think your knee or your joint is not part of you anymore, they turn their guns on the knees and you get rheumatoid arthritis. Or even when during the summer times, the flowers bloom and you smell some flowers or you inhale them and they are sensitive, they will detect it as allergy. Then they will secrete a lot of fluid in your nose to block your breathing system so that you will not continue to breathe in any more flowers or allergies. It's a defense mechanism. These eosinophils, or those soldiers who are responsible for allergies and so on and so forth. Then we will go to the drugstore and buy something and put it on our nose to open the door wide so that we can breathe in any more, some more pollens. These soldiers are very, very efficient, like we mentioned earlier. There are few things that weakens the immune system, and especially in a time such as this, especially during the infection of this COVID, we need to do things that will help improve our immune system. One of those things that weakens the immune system is stress. In Boston, they took about 5,000 nurses and measured their IgA, their immune capabilities, how in case these nurses are exposed to infection, how soon will it take before they get sick? They open their mouth and they scratch or measure their salivary IgA. And then for 5 minutes, they encourage these 5,000 nurses to do one thing. Think about some unpleasant experience that you have gone through during your lifetime. After 5 minutes, the alarm was sounded and they all stopped thinking about the unpleasant experience. Then they proceeded to measure their salivary IgA after the 5 minutes of thinking about unpleasant experience. And this is what happened. Some of the nurses had their immune system dropped by 70%, which means if they were exposed to any infection, they would have gotten sick. During this time where we need a strong immune system to fight most of the diseases that we are coming in contact with, the last thing we need is to put our people through stress. Recently, some researchers went to a university and they offered that we want to give you a flu. They had flu infections in syringes. They took the nasal discharges of people who were suffering from flu with virus in it, flu virus in it. And they said, we will give you some money if you will allow us to squirt this nasal discharge or mineral into your nose. and you can come down with the flu and we give you some money. Students are always short of money, so some students volunteered. Yes, go ahead and give me the flu. I'll go ahead and buy aspirin and get over it. The interesting thing that they found was that all those who were willingly, voluntarily infected with flu viruses, only those who were under stress, who had not finished their assignment, who were under financial stress, came down with the flu. They all got the same flu virus in their noses, but there were many of them who couldn't get sick because their immune system was strong and fought the infection. Those who were going through stresses were the very ones who got sick. In short, all we're saying is that stress will weaken your immune system as much as 70%. If you lay down in bed and worry about stress for just 5 minutes, you can weaken your immune system. Sugar, we have also found that weakens the immune system in the form of hardening the cell membranes so that the soldiers cannot inject it and destroy the illegal aliens. Sugar makes it hard for the membranes to fold over, to pass through the capillaries, and clogs the system. It is Proverbs 17:22 that the King David wrote, "A merry heart does good like a medicine. A broken spirit dries up the bones." What that really means is that a merry heart is a good medicine. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. Not all medicines are good. Some medicines are very dangerous. So I think the true translation should be a merry heart is a good medicine. But the second part says, broken spirit dries up the bones. Why did he say dries up the bones? Because all the soldiers, the T cells and the B lymphocytes, all come from the marrow, the bone marrow. And the psalmist is trying to make us understand. When you go under stress, your immune system, the bone marrow, is greatly affected. Not only that, anytime we eat a food that looks like us, it gets very, very difficult for the immune system to detect, is this pig? Because human being is very, very close to a pig. You can easily take a pig's heart and put it in a human heart or valve or part of it, and the human being can live. If you take a pig's food and put it in your system, it gets very difficult for the immune systems to detect, is this truly Yeboah or is another protein? We don't want to burden the immune system by eating the kind of food that will make us or make the immune system work harder instead of protecting you. Now, who would want to eat a food that looks like himself? Does carrot look like me? No. Does broccoli look like me? Does orange look like me? No. But chicken looks like me. He has eyes, has a nose. Pig looks like me. What we're saying is that any food that comes from animal source will weaken your immune system, especially when you need it the most. There are certain things that we can do also to weaken the immune system. But this time we're going to dwell mostly on some of us who would want to be vegetarians. We'd like to make it clear and help you. It is God Himself, when He finished creating human beings in Genesis 1:29, He says, I'm going to give you this kind of food, nuts, grains, vegetables. And the Lord looked back and He said, behold, it was very good. God knew that it is that kind of food that will cause this human machinery to function well. But because Satan has always hated God and all his children, he says, these human beings that you love so much, they have to eat before they die, or otherwise they will die. Therefore, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I will destroy their food source, that anytime they put food in their mouth, they will suffer the consequence. When God gave us the food to eat in Eden, it contained every nutrient that will make us survive. Nowadays, we're finding that vegetarians are running short of vitamin B12. Indians, when they live in India, and most of them are vegetarians, they don't have any problem. But when they come to England or America, a lot of them become deficient in B12. Why the discrepancy? Because the food in England or America or now coming to Ghana is highly refined. And therefore, the B12 have been destroyed. Most of you, when you begin to become vegetarians, either you have to have a food that has been supplemented with B12, or take a B12, a vitamin. The best one are those that will dissolve in your mouth. If you take a B12 tablet and swallow it into your stomach, it is useless, because the enzyme in your stomach will destroy that B12. Take the type that you will put under your tongue and let it dissolve into your blood system before you swallow it. Why do we need vitamin B12? The amount we need in a day is about 1 to 2 micrograms. Micrograms. 1 gram is when you take, say, 1 ounce of powder and divide it 30 times or 30 pieces. And then you take one of them and divide it 1,000,000 times and take one. The amount of B12 we need can fit on the tip of a pin. But if you don't get it in your system because you are vegan, you don't eat meat, you don't drink milk, you don't eat eggs, you need that 1 to 2 micrograms, very tiny, fit on the tip of a pin. You will be deficient after about 3 years of being a vegan. And what are the symptoms of B12 deficiency? You can have pains in the leg. You can experience extreme fatigue. And sometimes you will have imbalance when you're walking. When people who are B12 deficient walking, they often look down on the earth. Ribia onanti ano wasi ni trase. If you say wonim sanenano asifam. For example, ni enti ya yetimi nante na sa wo nante ya wo nantini sifam. Na message di mrika ko brain mu. Ako kanchile u brain say. Kwasi Yeboah ne nanti asifam, the heels on the ground. The message comes back 70 miles per hour to tell say, fa u foot nisi ho. Me de me foot no to ho a. Nesa ako me brain mo aka kanchile say, ni heel ene ne foot edafam wanye dembio. Na message aba kanchile to ne say, push off. Senyenya me na ye na coordinating ne kama nka ye nyina wuhie obi aso na mabontina wode ne heel so ho no wode ne foot ato ho ansa na wa push off no wode ne na benkuma heel aso ho saa na nka ye benante nso yetimitum de kase kikikiki bra ye nwene ho but saa bre ne nyina that is going on. If you are deficient in B12 you will have difficulty coordinating this. Enti gisa wo hwe fam saa na wode ohunu se ne nana sifam ansa na watimi apagya benkum ade akọ. B12 deficiency will cause that. If you say yeah vegetarian say no ye aduane a ye die bacteria nim Ghana aduane timi free to fam na obi amaso na wode ahe nanum bacteria no na boa no to process B12 near the microwave. Na ababuru chira ha na yede no aduane akakra eba Ghana nti India for no wo India no wonum wo India vegetarian for no bia nye B12 deficient, and yet when they come to America and they all become deficient, we say we destroy the bacteria which we need from our food. Ukutuba ire ufam bacteria wo hum utumankane wo fam wotite strawberries ni ade no a fino afriba me peprapra ho ne ade no ene na boa bacteria ade no, but microwave destroys all those. And those of you who are interested in changing your diet, make sure say, especially minimum within childbearing age, akwarani here, B12 to grow properly. And we should be more informed. Health and Temperance Department should educate our people how to prepare a wholesome meal. Yebekre empanyinfo anase nkokora ye na David o kan sembia na ye very powerful. Was say me bo akokora na me ye mra mesra wada, don't leave me the minimum was Psalm 71 1 and 2. In you do I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. Cast me not off in the time of my old age. Forsake me not when my strength fails. Say ye bonko kraba, there is a certain disease. David Huni said, don't let me be put into confusion. Saint is on top of our stomach, right on the top, enzymes are there, bacteria be one produce enzymes de boa vitamin B12 metabolism. Unyina na enzyme no sa. Tu tanya ya de be a friend a chlorohydria. Unya sa hydrochloric acid ne timi boa. And into be vitamin B12 deficient. So we are vegetarian, so we are vegetarian. Old people do so. Nunti na tole bia na ukoda mo a uko ye fadi and sujina hona ucha hunsa. David Hunu said, a bank okra ne mre woman ne one my B12 deficient no was it for modern bomb home cast me not off in terms of my old age bra many that deficiency no but basically near year can I say vegetarian also get B12 deficiency one use microwave they sterilize one and a bacteria be anymore a common thing make sure say with cereal will be there it's been fortified vegetarian meat here will be there will be fortified and now say will be taking extra B12 tablet and a vitamin D tablet for old people. These two vitamins are important. And no more will be anywhere within normal food. Here say we're taking mega vitamins, but these two ones are very necessary. And saying University of Chicago research be very interesting. I would say a dear friend Alzheimer's says I increase it by 4 times. Number 4 killer wa America ha. Alzheimer's ne say obi nyin duru stage bi a nadwene kora no wonkae na yere President Reagan. Na yere a won na atena for 70 years gina ne nchen kora won hunu ne dini onim ni pa kora wo ye. Say Alzheimer's is in the increase. University of Chicago. One more fan crofua, one more Alzheimer's genes. So mammy yaribia, who 30% chance of getting it from your mother. Mammy no papa both ended up with Alzheimer's, who were 10 times chance of also getting it. One more fa and crofua, one parents what surgeons be yarisa yadebi. Gina what they Alzheimer's but nonsense scientists for one more friend Apple E Absalom for Ali. One gene, Nidino Apple E Absalom for Ali. See a check moja see a near Hunisa will be you will end up. Into one more Sisa, one my wasa a day gene be. Yeah, one more near bed than Alzheimer's patients. No one more aduane a one more they never interfere with them. One more recording aduane a one more dear sa. A dear back on one more ya. A yes so interesting. One in aduane dairy products from cheese, milk, yogurt, butter, egg. Sa dairy products from one more. Yeah, very interesting studies. Even one made these small grams of those items increase one chances of getting Alzheimer's by 80%. Another group will want to make sure that they will not touch that is food, dairy products. One more yes, strict vegan. Even though their mothers and fathers had the gene, had suffered from this, and they themselves had the gene, as less than 1% they came down with the disease and sent one more, which means is that it doesn't matter what your gene is. So we show you will be able to improve. Nanano yama muhune nrapo. And say chicken, processed food, hamburger, the way they prepare them, nunti. Say metabolize it is a Wako magazine or Boswaka na welders no a welder meta etijasa. Sa free radicals no aduane biada obedi processed meat no ade a be show no a destroy brain cells no a destroy other normal cells no. Now one man who say one yare Alzheimer's no. Blueberries kwa. One of our Alzheimer's patients bear 300. One year test. Jigsaw puzzle. Questions be minor questions. One fairly. one ma won blueberries. Blueberries te say jehye na fire brigade din nsuo gu so edum no. Free radicals ne say wo cells wo a wodi avocado ana blueberries ana say grapes ya dampen ejano a free radicals no dey come egu so wo bodum no. After 3 months anopa bia won me blueberry smoothie near the ama one. 3 months you try mo ma on kwan say won mo may the same test. Won mo nyina pass. Enuane biara a yebetimi idea ebeboa to dampen the free radicals. And as a young 5 year near course of free radicals will be far better. And lastly, Yamamodin said, you better 7 to 8 hours to be able to allow the brain to replenish itself, to clean the garbage. Now your brain cells reabsorb garbage, Yeah, the basic hana yada mo bebre or china nyamipa ya beto aso. So will be a question be or has so na say ya better near to me actually no on this topic of immune system. The best way we can improve our immune system, the best way we can weaken our immune system we'll be too glad. Say you bet me and say you be humo dia na say you bet me atini mo bisa no. Let mo ase bebre IT for let mo ase so. Me hunu mo screen nti me hunu question no. Anya bibro munko. Me ka baby sa also my idea ye free. Ya one castle where did you no. I say the whole world and I number 4 killer. We cancer and diabetes ne heart problem free what. E kum kokra more. If you say ye no say na one more say no refined aduane a one minim say edi edem edi madam. Nanso enimu na sika wonti. One ma fa billions na they advertising with TV so sa na yatwe ye quantity nnuane body ne menkane free fresh ade no one ma ye processed food ehunsunso aso no na nabonsam so aka kire nyame se nipa ye a wabo wonum ye nipa ye anidi a ye bewu mesoma bomodin se mese won ma duane bia ye de bekoya no se wonum bewu prematurely ansa na wonum asesa ya adwene but enomo no woka se meyi asafo bi esi ho West Tema Church na mama wonum the knowledge to reverse adwuma abonsam ye eno ho na ye bre wonum hunu se wonum aye didi kura wonum se ye nidi ye wonum nkai hwe sa nkrofo no se wonum jai dairy products di na wonum di more fruits and so hwe a wonum ye failure what is and so hwe no ama wonum timi pass it. Although the damage has been done, but you can improve it by change of diet. and a change of environment. For example, now one year studies be konkokra ne mrewa mposo one hunu say ade ma one survival near level longer na one manage and say one more support. Yes, one me a vegetarian, yes, one more need a situation, but one more support network. Say beer, nipa etwa ho ahia na care about them, regardless of their mistakes. Ne one mumra those people still care about them. And no ma one more encouragement, ma one more level better, you're more productive. Same vegetarian beer, one beer. Na sa Alzheimer and I say forgetfulness and I say dementia, yeah, wunyina eba no. A certain part of the brain no no any deficiencies no yeah they my brain no ahunsu so and no. But the only way you better improve one life, yentimi cure one completely. By a bama one we are more of the fruit source. And then Yeboah says the best food God can give any mortal man is fruit, fresh fruits. Ghana so abusetam. Woni pefufu na die na nyesa anka na okofa man se fedi sopa. E be take bread e pa yemfa bi mfra won mu nuane no. Na yema won mu hunu say regardless of their mistakes ni won mra wo ye no. We still care about them. Now we give them the support. Actually, so one that's so important. Wo family mu ho chance e beka se won mu ho ahi Saturday se nyame ye adom na ebetimi ayi slides bi dia nim sentia na me ye say computer ye brand new computer na ye basa but I never expected it. Ebetimi yi slides bi a mo betimi ahun brain ye beka mental health yeah atiasity wo ya sori mu wo ye fie mu. Okay, many say matimi answer our question no fully, but we are near for years. And I say it's coming. Sure. Sure. Uh-huh. And smart worker. Na nokore ni Ghana yetimi hu se nyame ahira yen atoa prakasa ne nema pampan no ye strong on e nura nyame wo mo nipa kora no no nim se saa nema beto ye dua bia da esi planet earth so e aduro na nim ne ye nim free ni roots kosi na haha ne fruits ni so nyina ye duro if you say nyame say I care about you bonsam say munya nyame de no na monko store nkoto ade ani nipa ya no basaa no bonsam nim the physiology se kosi Yeboah kora nim ne yakoso wɔ nipa adwene mo kakra and tisa bonsam was 6,000 years and what din so say obamia di nnuane anye akoyɛ adwene mo asɛe yɛn sɛ nipa no duru saa stage na woyɛ dan kaka nyamsam kyerɛ no nanso so ɛyɛ sɛ mo yɛbɛ use the word of God. And ne doctor for one mo nkɔ asɔre koraa hunu sɛ obi nya stroke na wo read the Bible kyerɛ no na wo ma ne memorize Bible will regain n'adwene no quicker kyɛn aduro biara a word pharmacy a wode bɛma no nyame asɛm ɛyɛ aduro de ma yɛn. But most importantly no mommɔ mmɔden sɛ nhahamma ne nnuane a nyame de atwa yɛn ho no yɛde bɛboa. Secondly, mpanyimfoɔ adwene bɛyɛ mmerɛ. Me sɛ ka no na metumi te asɛm ase anaasɛ m'adwene yɛ sharp nnɛ megyina hɔ na metwa me ho saa menhunu baabi a nneɛma akɔ. Ebi anka nna anwummerɛ deɛ sɛ nkwaraa no bi wɔ fie ha nka bi a wɔn bɛtumi asɔɔbo ama yɛn. And this has become a problem for older people. But nyini tina Nana David say in my old age, said me imagine say na the mama ni munkugu ase mesra wada. Sure. Okay. The second question is plant ben a boa a knee problem. Nyamia nim ne me nim saa nneɛma no. SDA doctors pii wɔ hɔ a wɔn ma wie medical school no wɔn de taradan no wɔn kosua naturopathic nneɛma ɛtete saa nti wɔn de nim na yɛyɛ ka. Dua wɔ yɛ sɛ yɛboa dua wɔ yɛ sɛ yɛboa menim saa nneɛma no papa. Nkwaraa edi akyerɛ no deɛ wobisa wɔn ma wɔn bɛtumi akyerɛ wo. And I will say the first question to say yeah, just as bad. Just as bad. Menka say jawodi and I say the war. Sugar itself, they bet me a whole evening program on sugar, how bad it is to the human health. War ankasa enye nipa aduane. One me my baby bees. And a year nipa kan yakatra ma nti yakofa no sugar. A war is 7 times more sweeter than sugar. Betima is 7 times more damage. But I don't interest nibi. Would the kakra fra wunu and my bata. But I bear say yina bit me a train yo. Say, yamfa sugar in Keano. Opening Jack not to say, menina sanyache. And so mean so what the secret back and Korakanana. And no interest on your idea, but and here's a complicated matters. Say a chirepa near my makum, I see chire. To me, any damage ya, and can say ya de man quara. Hospital back one a mere mojuma. Ye fa one my year alcoholics, carrying some yajuna sen. Near Pessia boy, you don't cost any damn say. Monchre, monchesinia. Ye na momra na momachro ani amokai frimu ebi kura nka so okosini na campus watimi aka mu asamachro bribiada ye bedidi aduane na asikyire wo mu so wa ma akora aduane kama adi na wasan akofa ice cream the afra asikyire adan no take all the B vitamins e wo mu na dia metabolize ice cream no anase beer no. One man no nyina at the age of 42 now one margin assay completely. Kakakra one de nanuma pontin di huna kwara. Branca one margin by a sharp no alcoholics beer anywhere. If you say there be alcohol no one it take all the vitamin B. A one body to metabolize alcohol. Brain susu here vitamin B and send a fufu a woody and a timia convert it into a special glucose brain no here. Without the B vitamins, no. Aduane a woody any na ko brain no na atwam ko ntimi nwura mu amma wadwene na nye sharp. Nti whoever one mu 42 years no one margin say completely. Ne usisa si chire de ma akora idea. Won't mean level to the capacity and kese nyame abon se won kro ayese ye betrain ye mano e fa sugar and honey ɛne nneɛma a ɛte saa no fa fruit no fa fra akwaraa no aduane te sɛ pineapple raisins ne neɛ bɔɔfrɛ no no fa fra me ha sɛ mama yɛ koko mame a wobɛhwɛ no wɔtwitwa bɔɔfrɛ ne nneɛma de afra kane no nam anim yɛ me dɛ me ne no bɛko a ɛnnɛ ɛnyɛ m'asɛm ahia sɛ yɛn nyinaa te anamo ɛdɛm ase. What's the next question, Ben? Be no.
Hello. I think Doctor has answered part of my question. I wanted to find out the difference between dementia and Alzheimer. And secondly, there are a lot of young students who are not, sharp in the brain as it's supposed to have been. And I think Doctor answered that part for me. But if he can clarify the difference between dementia and Alzheimer, that will be very much preferred. Thank you.
Opinion one because I wait my research easily. But Alzheimer is the end stage. So can next slice ye and kamuhuno Alzheimer brain one and kawa yurebaho. Brain no to say pasa and identity more. Tinipana or bana no. I very sad. I had a bonnet. Now so a diane. So most of it. Apart from gene. Now senior University of Chicago research each no. So mommy will be papa will be now one kasa war apple e epsilon 4 alley. Yeah, condemned to have it now. Less than 2%. And it minya side yadiano. So why need dairy products are you can postpone your Alzheimer. A very useful study. I was impressed when I saw that. You don't have to. You can postpone your funeral, more or less. Adana ya na IT for why din say more ho. Minim some more ho. Mona more boama. Yatin programming ka. I serious. We hope so. If he said, "Way a brand new laptop," I will go ahead and buy another one. My job will come if it's a PowerPoint and also. But even Kura before we started, it was giving me some challenges. But way a monkey to when some can on Konkurananka ya new programming. Kakrebia yenyano, me and Yamiasina in Fanyajma. Okay. Amen.
Amen.